Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to SermonLink. I'm Pastor Larry Brown. This is a ministry of Powell United Methodist Church, and we're checking in again this week on our scripture, which is our focus for today. And again, just welcome. Glad to have you with us. We're going to be, as you can see here, indicated in Exodus, the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verses 1 through 6. Now, this is, I'll say, a very familiar passage in the Bible, not in the sense that as you see that reference, you automatically know what it is, but when you hear it, you'll know what it is. This is where we find the Ten Commandments. So even folks who have little knowledge of the Bible usually know something about the Ten Commandments and probably can name one, two, or more of them, and may not have any other sense about the context of where those commandments come from, but know they're in the Bible, probably at least that much. So that's the section we turn to, and let's hear it together. We're just going to read actually the very first portion, which is going to focus on commandment number 1. And I'll just give a little hint as we get into it. There's a reason why it's number 1. Then God spoke all these words, I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an idol, whether in the form of anything that is in heaven above, or that is on the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them or worship them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, punishing children for the iniquities of parents to the 3rd and the 4th generations of those who reject me, but showing steadfast love to the 1000th generation of those who love me and keep my commandments. And we'll stop right there. So, as I mentioned, the 10 Commandments, focusing on commandment number 1. I had a colleague actually ask me this week as I was reflecting on this scripture, beginning to prepare for this coming Sunday when this will be the preaching text, why just the one commandment? And I heard myself saying, hardly without thinking about it, well, if you get the first one right, all of the others fall into place. And I really think that is true. That first commandment, that there shall be no other God but God. Now, it's interesting, as I've thought about this, and I'm going to invite you to do the same with me. This passage does not necessarily say there are not other gods. In fact, I think the implication is, oh, there are other gods. Think small g, okay? Other gods. And the whole point is that our allegiance, our loyalty, what we give ourselves to, must be to the God. In the Old Testament, in the Hebrew tradition, the name of God is Yahweh. I am who I am. And so it's that God, the God who creates all things, the God who's created you and me and everything that we know and all of the hope and possibility that we have in life, life itself. That's the God to whom we are to give our allegiance and loyalty. Now, as I mentioned, there are other gods, and this is the problem. And this is why here the voice of God says, I'm jealous. In other words, I want all of your adoration, all of your love, all of your loyalty, and all of your commitment, because these other gods get in the way. We know what they are. We won't take time here today to list and name them, but you know what they are. The things that call to us and beckon to us and seek to take our hope. In other words, we place our hope in those things which are temporary or temporal and really ultimately cannot bring us the security we desire. It's those kinds of gods, whether it be wealth or whether it be success or image or whatever it might be. Again, we can't name them all. We don't need to name them all. We get it. Those gods can take our attention. The God demands it of us. And this season of Lent that we're in as Christians, I believe, gives us the opportunity to reconnect and recommit to this one God. That once we're in the right relationship with that one God, it's true, everything else kind of falls into place. Not only the way that we live and the choices we make and the other kind of commandments then that we follow, but our priorities and our values and all of that begins to find its right place because we are connected and have a God-centered life. That's the calling. I guess we could say in a spiritual context, that's the goal. And we always turn to the God to help us to make the God our God. And that too is where our saving experience comes from as well. So wrap all that in your mind and heart today. Keep thinking about it. Oh, there's so much more that can be said, of course, but I think that's as far as we'll go today. Again, so glad you're with us. Hey, give us a like and a share. That sharing is particularly important because it just spreads the message out even further. And we'd invite you to do that. That would really be super. Again, thanks for being with us. We'll be back next week. And until then, you all take care and keep strong in the faith.